Good morning everyone. I appreciate your quick response to this emergency meeting. As all of you already know that our newly launched product, the Nutri Snack Protein Bar, distributed across several European markets, has been flagged for contamination. Yesterday, our internal quality assurance team identified some traces of Salmonella in selected batches. After initial investigation, we confirmed that the contamination originated from one of our low-cost suppliers responsible for providing key ingredients. This situation presents a major threat, not just to consumer safety, but also to our corporate reputation, regulatory compliance, investor confidence, and a long-term market position. We need to examine this from every strategic and establish a unified crisis response plan. I would like each of you to share your perspective in detail so we can move forward with clarity and accountability.
Thank you, sir. From an ethical standpoint, this incident demands immediate and decisive action. Our company has built its reputation on trust, quality, responsibility, and consumers rely on us to provide safe products. Regardless of how small the contamination level may be, the ethical implications are significant. In situations involving potential foodborne illness, transparency and consumer protection must be our highest priorities. My recommendations are as follows. Full and immediate product recall. We must recall the entire Nutri-Snack inventory, not just the affected batches. Ethically, partially recall would imply selective protection and guesswork, which is unacceptable. A full recall sends a clear message that safety is non-negotiable. Immediate public disclosure. We need to communicate openly with the public through press releases and our official channels. The announcement must clearly state what happened, the potential risks, what consumers should do next. The supplier has clearly failed to meet the safety and hygiene standards outlined in our code of conduct. Until a full investigation is completed, their contract must be put on hold. Ethical review of internal processes. This incident calls for an internal evaluation of how such a supplier was approved. We must identify the gaps in oversight, auditing, and quality monitoring.
Thank you, Ms. Manya. The legal dimensions of this crisis are equally critical. Food safety laws across Europe impose very strict standards, and failure to comply can result in severe consequences. From the moment contamination was confirmed, the legal countdown began. Key legal risks we face include regulatory penalties for delayed reporting, product liability claims from consumers, and class action lawsuits in market where injuries or illness occur, potential temporary or permanent bans in certain jurisdictions, and criminal liability in extreme negligence cases. And from there, my colleague Nitali will explain.
To minimize these risks, we must proceed with absolute precision. My recommended legal actions are mandatory notification to authorities. European regulations require immediate notification, typically within 24 hours after discovering a safety risk. Any delay can be considered negligence and it is punishable by law. Preparing recall documentation. This includes traceability records, distribution logs, supplier certifications, test results confirming contamination, and corrections action plans. These documents will protect us from claims suggesting internal negligence. Establishing evidence against the supplier. We must legally secure proof that the contamination originated from the supplier. This protects us against liability and provide ground for legal action or contract termination. Number 4 is transparent, legally reviewed public statements. Any message released to the public must be carefully vetted to ensure no misleading or exaggerated claims, no statements that could imply liability prematurely, compliance with disclosure laws. Number 5 is preparing for regulatory audits. Authorities will likely conduct inspections. We must ensure full cooperation and test.
So, from an investor standpoint, the situation poses immediate financial and reputational concerns. Product recalls, especially those involving safety risks, often results in decreased investor confidence, and the next one is potential drops in stock price and the increased operational and logistic expenses. And the last one is temporary production shutdowns. After that, however, failing to handle this crisis responsibly would have far more devastating long-term consequences. Key concerns from the investor community are first of all financial impact. We need clarity on the financial impact. First of all, recall costs and compensation for customers and the legal expenses or impact on manufacturing continuity and potential losses in sales and brand value. Next one is recovery timeline. Investors will want to know how soon production can resume safely and how quickly can stabilize the market. So measures to prevent recurrence. Investors are less worried about a crisis itself and more concerned about the repeating one. They will want a clear assurance that procedures are being implemented to avoid future risks. Communication strategy. Our investor relations team must prepare a transparent yet reassuring statement that acknowledges the issue. And the second one is explain the corrective actions and outlines long-term measures. The last one is reinforces the company's resilience and commitment.
Thank you, Ashish. From a social responsible perspective, the crisis is not just a challenge, but also an opportunity to reaffirm our issues, welfare, and ethical business practices. My recommendations are: first, establishes a 24/7 consumer helplines. This will provide real-time information and guidance and to concerned customers. Second, health support and compensation, providing free medical consultations and compensations to affected customer demonstrates accountability and empathy, both essential in CSR. Third, comprehensive supplier audit program. Beyond terminating the current supplier, we must conduct hygiene audits, raw material testing, supply chain evaluations, training programs for suppliers. Fourth point, public transparency report. After the crisis establishes, we should publish CSR report outlining what happened, actions taken, lessons learned, preventing system implemented. Fifth point, long-term responsibility messaging. This crisis and ultimately demonstrate our commitment to responsible business practices if we handle it sincerely and clarity.
Thank you all for your comprehensive insights. After reviewing the perspectives presented, here is our unified crisis management plan. Full product recall. All Nutri snack bars will be removed from European markets within 48 hours. No exceptions. Transparent public announcement. We will hold a press conference today itself, followed by detailed statements on all digital platforms. Transparency is essential. Regulatory notification. The legal team, Divyanshu and Mitali, will ensure all European food safety authorities are informed immediately and provided with necessary documents. Supplier suspension, effective immediately. The supplier responsible for the contamination is suspended. A full investigation will follow. Consumer helpline and support. Please set up a 24/7 helpline and prepare a structured compensation package for affected consumers. Internal supply chain audit. We will conduct a company-wide supply chain review to reinforce safety standards and tighten supplier approval processes. Investor communication strategy. Ashish, prepare a detailed communication plan for the investor community, including a financial impact, recovery timeline, and corrective strategies.
This plan reflects our commitment to consumer well-being and ethical responsibility.
We will remain fully compliant and legally protected by taking this decision promptly.
Transparency and accountability will help maintain investor confidence. I support this approach.
These actions will reinforce brand as a socially responsible and trustworthy company.
Thank you all. Let's act swiftly and decisively. Global Foods will demonstrate that strong values guide us even in times of crisis.